Hi there. I recently did a project where I hooked up this wireless remote that you see in the bottom right here to my Strongarm Hoist in my garage. I struggled with it a bit and didn't see any good videos that really explained exactly how to do it, so I thought I would do one. First off, this is a Strongarm winch that came from Northern Tools. I suspect the ones that come from Harbor Freight and other places would be similar. It's important to note that most of these have a fairly large start capacitor and pull more amperage than really a controller like this is designed to handle. This controller is designed for 10 amps, but in the directions it says don't go much over 5, and uh, the hoist pulls a little over 13 amps. So I wanted to use some contactors to keep from burning up the controller. Now the first thing to talk through here is what is a double pole double throw switch, or a DPDT. I'm not going to get real deep into the engineering or the electrics, but I do want to show you very practically what it is and how to use it. If you open up the controller, you'll see this right here. Some of them will have a capacitor also hooked up to the controller. Others will have a start-stop switch. This one's the simplest version. And the reason these things are called double pole double throws is you can think of this as a switch. On the other side, it's a rocker switch. So you push up for the hoist to go up and you push down for the hoist to go down. If you think about this as a two-way switch, it helps. So essentially what you're doing is when you throw the switch, you're connecting this wire with this one and this wire with this one, or just the opposite. So what I've done here is I've done a little map of how these 6 connectors are put together. In this case, you see number 1, number 4, and number 6 are all red. If you had a start-stop or something along those lines, or if you had multiple capacitors, you may not see that. You may see something else. So when you press the switch up, you throw the switch, which makes number 2 and number 1 connect, and it makes number 5 and number 4 connect. When you throw it down, number 2 and number 3 connect, and 5 and 6 connect. Now, it's a bit complex to understand how that makes a 110 volt hoist go forward or backwards, up or down. There's another video out there that I'll put a link to that explains that if you're really interested in understanding what's actually taking place. But if you're just interested in the practicality, that's what this video is for, and I'm going to show you how to wire it even if you don't totally understand what's going on. So for this, I use 2 contactors or relays. They're both single throw double pole. You could probably use a double throw double pole relay, but I find that this contactor in particular is very handy. I use it for other projects like automating my pool pump. It'll handle 30 amps, 220 volt, or it can handle multiple 110 volt feeds, which is what I've done here. It's important also to note that this particular coil in this contactor is 110 volt. You can get them that are 24 volt, but the remote that I showed earlier is 110 volts, and so that's why we stayed with 110 volt. Additionally, this isn't a bad thing to have around. A lot of HVAC equipment uses them, and so I look at it as it gives me a spare. So the way a contactor works, if you're not familiar with it, is essentially you hook 110 volts across the 2 plugs. There's a plug just like this on the other side you can see here. You hook 110 volts across here, and the magnetic coil comes on. You'll hear it click, and it connects this wire and this wire and this wire and this wire. Now, you can either hook the wires up with little connectors that you crimp on the ends, or you could take these lugs, loosen them, stick the wire in, and tighten it back down. Either one. So what we're going to do is use 2 of these, and the 110 volts coming from the controller to operate our winch up and down. It helps understand how to wire these if you will just stick the two contactors together in this configuration, look over here at your wires, and what you're going to do is take the wires out of this remote case and just hook them right on to the contactors. Now, if you've got different sorts of connectors, you may have to wire them up. You may have to use some wire nuts. But essentially what we're going to do is we're going to take wires 1 and 4, and we're just going to wire them right here. Then we're going to take 3 and 6 and wire them right here. Now, one simple way to do that is take one of those red wires, put it on one of these, and then put jumpers to the other 3, because in this case the red wire goes to all 3 of those. Then here's where the trick is. In this configuration, it makes it really obvious that number 2 and number 5 will go to both of these contactors. I'll show you how that looks in the next slide. So in this case, we've taken the red wire coming right from the hoist, hooked it up here, here, and here, taken the brown wire and hooked it here, and then ran a jumper over to this one, or vice versa, and the black wire here and here. Then the green wire goes right here. So that's effectively how you just take this wiring, pull it out of the controller, hook it up to these contactors. Then the next thing is to hook it to this handy little controller, and I'll put a link to where to purchase this on Amazon. It's about 17 bucks. It's a really great controller. You could use this for other projects as well. Now the layout is basically this. You have a common wire here that activates the coil, so you're going to hook it up to both of these. Think of that as the white wire in a typical main. Then you're going to take the blue wire, or take a wire, and run it from here over to this side of the down, and then this one goes over here to the up. And if you look on the controller, this says up, this says stop, this says down. If you had a stop switch, this is where you would wire it. It will probably have a common on it. It may have a common, may not, but this is where your stop switch would go. Then what you're going to do is you're going to hook up your power here. So this is the line, or the hot, and this is the neutral. If you're looking at just a regular wire, 110 volt wire, this will be the black, this will be the white. Okay. And then that shows it, this shows it all together. Coming from your hoist, you've got your green, black, brown, and red wire that go to your contactors. Then you've got your remote that activates these two contactors. When you hit the up button, it completes this loop, and you'll hear that thing click, and it'll connect the wires and make your hoist go up. Now I like to just take and put a lamp cord or something like that on here, plug it into an outlet, the same outlet that you plug the hoist into. Makes it really simple, makes it really nice. Now I'm going to show another video of all this put together, and when I do, you'll see that I actually have taken mine and put it in a box. You do want to probably put it in a project box, because keep in mind, all of this is 110 volt mains that can shock you.